Welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Tim Weigel, team leader of the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program and the statewide grape and hops IPM specialist with the New York State IPM program. And I'm going to talk again about one of the subjects that people wonder why I continue to talk about, grape berry moth. It's middle of October 2019. We're in the middle of harvest. Things are really going nice. You know, it's one of these nice sunny, crisp fall days. And but this is really the calm before the storm. We're expecting rain tomorrow, and this is Tuesday, so rain on Wednesday and Thursday. The winds are going to be picking up. I think they have forecasted winds of 44. And so what came to my mind is this is an excellent opportunity. If you don't want to really take the time to go in and scout and see what your grape berry moth damage is like before you harvest your grapes, you can really wait until Thursday or Friday, come back and look and see how many of the grapes are on the ground. You can see here, if you look down, we've had some windy days. This isn't a high berry moth site, but you can see that we have some grapes down on the ground. And we've seen over the years where more and more we're finding that grape berry moth is starting to move not just on the edge of the vineyard, which is the traditional place that we think of, but into the vineyards. And I've heard from folks, growers will say, they came out of nowhere. And to that I say, baloney, they did not. They're very clumsy flyers. They're very small insects. It's not like there's hordes of grape berry moth flying into the middle of the vineyard. What we're seeing is, I think, is that we're not really going out and scouting like we should. We may be looking on the edges where we traditionally have berry moth damage, but we don't go into the interior of the vineyard and look. And then we'll have an exceptional year for grape berry moth development, and you tend to see it inside the vineyard as well. I think one of the things that I want to warn you against is you can see that we have this, the grapes down here on the ground, and so the berry moth are inside that. Right now the larvae are inside there. They will emerge, they'll pupate, and there they lay. If they aren't blown to an edge, they're going to just stay there. And what that does is that tends to move your edge further and further into the interior of the vineyard. Another problem that we've seen in the past is that if there's a lot of grape berry moth on the end of a row that is perpendicular to the edge, people will just take the bins and drop the fruit on the ground. And when you do that again, you're depositing the larvae inside the grapes. They come out, they pupate, and they're right there. So we're actually moving the edge further and further into the vineyard. So if you do have problems, I know it is extra to do at a very busy harvest time, but you know, deposit them in a bin, get them out of your vineyard, take them, bury them, do something with them so that the larva doesn't survive or the pupa doesn't survive. You can compost them, but do yourself a favor. Don't be your own worst enemy. Come out, look, and come out on Friday. It's supposed to be sunny again, and look under the row. If you have trouble seeing the berries because of weeds, that's a whole nother problem that somebody else can discuss. But if you have any questions about grape berry moth and how to manage it in your vineyard, you have suggestions for future podcasts, please put it in the comment sections below.